Merry Christmas, everybody. It's my honor to welcome you to this year's Christmas concert. Of course, everything is different this year, and our Christmas concert is going to be a little bit different than what you're used to. But one thing that won't change is the excitement and the joy that the kids come to this concert with and to present to you. I'd like to send a special thanks out to Mrs. Duchak and Mrs. Jackson for all of their work, as well as the kids, because that's what it's all about. So sit back, enjoy, and have a wonderful, merry, and blessed Christmas season. Thank you.
Long, long ago, in a place far, far away, a baby boy was born to King and Queen Kringle of Arctic Land. They named their little bundle of joy Chris, and they all lived happily together as Chris grew from a baby to a toddler to a young lad.
Chris loved playing with all the Arctic animals, but he had a special fondness for the reindeer. The reindeer had a unique fondness for Chris as well. King Kringle would fasten a sleigh to the reindeer, and the gentle animals would pull it across the snowy land for hours. Little Chris would giggle with delight the entire time.
The happy life lived by the Kringles, however, abruptly came to an end just before Chris turned 11 years old. The sudden death of the queen left King Kringle alone to raise his son.
5 years later, the king remarried. Unfortunately, the new queen was very mean to Chris. She was jealous of the attention the king gave to his son. She also noticed that magical things seemed to happen when Chris was around, and that made her even more jealous.
Because the queen herself had been born with some magical powers, she soon knew that Chris would eventually realize his own gift of magic.
If Chris has magical powers too, I will no longer have the ultimate power over everything. Chris needs to be removed from my life.
The following day, she summons the royal huntsman.
I want that boy removed from my life. Take him deep into the woods and make sure that I never see him again.
Yes, Your Majesty. The royal huntsman does as he is told. He lures the boy deep into the forest, promising to show him a baby reindeer.
All of a sudden, the huntsman stops in his tracks.
I can't do it. Run away from here now.
What do you mean? Run away and don't come back? But then I won't see my father again. I don't understand.
The queen ordered me to get rid of you. I simply can't bear to do it. Though, if I return back to the castle, it is I who will be killed. Please go and don't come back.
Okay, to spare your life, I'll go.
Chris walks through the forest for hours, finally stopping to sleep in an abandoned lodge. When he wakes up, he continues to walk away from everything he knows and loves.
After hours of stumbling through the woods, he reaches the edge of the forest. In front of him is snow. Nothing for miles but snow. Chris feels more alone than ever.
He begins to wander across the Arctic plains. Again, he walks for several hours. The cold winds blow sharply against his face. He has never been so cold and hungry.
Suddenly, far into the distance, he catches sight of a teeny house. He walks toward it, hoping to find someone, anyone, who will tell him where he is and where he can go. He approaches the house, and when he finally arrives, he knocks on the door.
Is anybody home?
When no one answers, Chris slowly opens the door and peeks inside.
Ooh, a wood-burning stove. Perhaps I can warm my feet up for a few minutes. I'm sure the owners won't mind, especially if I'm careful and leave everything untouched.
As Chris walks over to the stove, he gazes at the objects that fill the large room.
Chris sees 7 workbenches. Each is stocked with hammers, nails, and hand-carved wooden toys. Each workbench has a name engraved into it.
Boss, gloomy, happy, sleepy, timid, sneezy, and silly. And those must be the names of the people who live here. What odd names. They certainly are gifted woodcarvers, though.
Chris had planned to remain standing, but the chair in front of the stove seems to be calling his name. He settles into it, sighing with relief as the throbbing in his aching legs stops.
Oh my, am I ever tired? I'll just rest my eyes for a minute.
In no time at all, however, Chris is sound asleep.
Chris is still snoozing when the homeowners arrive at the cottage a short time later. 6 of them carry long logs while the leader of the group pulls a sled filled with axes and lunch pails.
Okay, crew, I know you're all tired. Just set your logs next to the house. Tomorrow we can come out here and cut some wood to take inside so we can all begin our new toy projects.
You bet I'm tired. That was hard work.
But now we have enough wood to last 2 whole months.
Achoo! Enough chit-chat out here in the cold. I can't wait to warm my feet by the fire. Achoo! I call the chair by the wooden stove.
Not if I beat you to it.
Silly and Sneezy race to the door. Sneezy turns the doorknob, but Silly squeezes through the open door first and bolts for the wood stove.
He stops dead in his tracks when he spies the young stranger sleeping in the chair.
What on earth?
Sneezy tries to come to an abrupt stop behind Silly, but he doesn't quite stop in time. He falls into Silly, who then tumbles onto the arm of the chair where Chris is sleeping.
Chris's eyes pop open when he feels the chair get bumped. He rubs his eyes and then suddenly sees 7 little elves gathered around the chair, staring at him. He jumps to his feet.
I'm so sorry.
What are you doing in our house?
I came in to warm myself by the toasty fire. I meant to stay only long enough to warm up a bit, but I accidentally fell asleep in the chair.
Where did you come from?
Yeah, besides some animals, no one else lives anywhere near here.
I'm from the kingdom of Arctic land. My stepmother ordered that the huntsmen get rid of me, so I had to flee far from my home and promised to never return. And I don't know where to go, but I know I cannot return to Arctic land.
A tear slides down Chris's face as he turns and walks toward the door.
Just wait a minute.
Boss motions for the other elves to draw closer. They form a huddle and whisper among themselves.
The poor lad. He has no home and no one to care for him.
I can't bear to think of him walking across this cold, barren land tonight. He'd surely freeze to death. The Arctic wind is so harsh.
We must let him spend the night here in the warm workshop.
All of the elves nod in agreement, and then they break from their huddle.
Well, we discussed your situation, and you're welcome to spend the night here in our workshop.
Really? You are all so kind. Thank you.
You're welcome. Let me show you around.
Oh, please do. I noticed the workbench is full of tools and toys. Did you all make these toys?
We sure did. Come look at the ones I made. I specialize in building toy trains.
I make dolls.
And I make doll crayons and doll houses.
I design the puzzles. I used to only make 10-piece wooden puzzles, but now I can make 24-piece puzzles.
I carve chunks of wood into animals. I am quite proud of my polar fox.
I cut out blocks of all shapes and sizes.
And I carve toy soldiers.
Wow, these objects are amazing. Each one is truly unique. What do you do with all of them when you're finished?
Most of them go in the shed outside.
What?
We give what we can to the children in the neighborhood, considering that our nearest neighbors are 3 hours from here. We don't get rid of many that way.
As you know from your walk here, this is simply not a highly populated area of the world.
And we get bored up here near the North Pole, so carving these toys gives us something to do. If we didn't do this, I think I would end up sleeping my whole life away.
We just make these toys for the fun of it.
It does look like fun. Would one of you be willing to teach me how to carve a toy?
I'd be happy to teach you how to carve a locomotive.
It's too bad we can't deliver these toys to the less fortunate children of the world. I know that they would love and cherish each toy they receive.
The elves and Chris continue to talk for quite some time.
After eating rabbit stew for supper, Happy begins to teach Chris how to carve a toy train.
They become so engrossed in what they're doing that they don't notice that 4 hours tick by on the old hand-carved grandfather clock in the room. They look up in surprise when the clock strikes midnight.
I think it's time we head to bed. Look, Sleepy, Timid, and Silly are already fast asleep.
I am having trouble keeping my eyes open. Let's call it a night.
Of course. I'll just sleep in the chair by the stove. I've already discovered it to be quite comfortable chair for sleeping.
See you in the morning. Hey, I just realized you never told us your name.
It's Chris. Chris Kringle. Good night, my friends.
Meanwhile, back at the castle, the queen realizes that Chris is still alive. She has sent a servant to make sure the huntsman really had followed through with her plan to get rid of Chris.
The servant reported back to the queen that 2 sets of footprints had gone deep into the woods and only one of the footprints returned to the castle. However, the second set of footprints had continued in the other direction as far as the eye could see.
The queen knows this bit of information means that Chris is still alive. She is furious with the royal huntsman for not obeying her command. The queen goes to the huntsman's cabin to punish the huntsman herself.
When she arrives, however, she finds the cabin is empty. Clearly, he has left the kingdom for fear of the queen's rage when she finds out that Chris is still alive.
Obviously, if you want to get rid of someone around here, it's necessary to do oneself. I will find that boy and get rid of him myself.
The queen devises a plan to find the boy. She creates a magic potion and drinks it down in a single gulp. Within seconds, she is transformed into a crippled old woman.
She then follows Chris's footprints through the snow for 3 long, cold days. She considers turning back after the first day, but decides to press on until she finds Chris.
The queen finally nears the elves' workshop and spots Chris from afar. He is plodding over the top of the snow in snowshoes and has a quiver full of arrows slung over his shoulder. He is carrying a bow and he appears to be hunting for food.
Finally, there he is.
She shuffles towards Chris.
Young lad, please, I need your help.
What is it? Are you hurt?
Oh no, dear, I'm not hurt. I'm just very old and tired. I was wondering if you would help me return to my home. I fear I will not survive if I continue on by myself.
I'd be happy to walk with you. Tell me, where do you live? There isn't a house for miles.
Do you see that lone tree in the distance? My house is about 200 feet from there.
Oh, I didn't realize there was a house over there. Why are you walking out here in the cold?
I wanted to deliver this basket of cookies to my dear friends that live a few miles that way. I guess I forgot how old I am now. I realize now that it was not a very good idea, and to make matters worse, my friends were not even home. Now what am I going to do with all these cookies? You're a growing boy. Would you be so kind as to accept one of my cookies?
Well,
Chris hadn't eaten since breakfast and he is starving. Plus, he does love cookies.
I would love to have one of your cookies.
Chris bites into the cookie. It tastes horrible, but he doesn't want to hurt the old woman's feelings.
He manages to swallow the cookie and
he collapses to the ground.
Ha ha! I did it! You will no longer be a thorn in my side, Kris Kringle.
with that, the queen turns and heads back in the direction she came, leaving Chris to lie in the snow.
Where could Chris be? He should surely be back by now.
He always returns before the sun goes down.
I am worried. Something doesn't feel right. Normally I remind that you always say that, but gloomy. But this time, I must agree with you. I think we should go look for Chris.
The elves bundle up in their coats, mittens, hats, and boots and head into the darkening afternoon to find Chris.
They are very alarmed when they find him a short distance from their workshop, lying in the snow, motionless.
Chris, wake up. Are you all right?
Silly and Sneezy, run back to the workshop and retrieve Escalade. We'll take him back to the house.
There's a broken cookie laying in the snow. Where did he get that?
I don't know, but look at those tracks through the snow. Clearly, someone was with Chris, gave him a cookie, and then ran away. The cookie must have been filled with poison.
But who would want to hurt Chris? He's such a kind, gentle lad.
Let's find out. Timid and Sleepy, will you follow me? Will you follow these tracks with me? We need to find out who did this terrible thing to Chris. Yes, you three follow those tracks. The rest of us will take Chris back to the house and try to awaken him. He is barely breathing, but at least he's still alive.
Timid, Sleepy, and Gloomy set off on foot, following the lone tracks in the snow. They followed the tracks for an hour. When they reach the base of the large hill, they form a line and carefully follow the rocky, steep trail. About halfway up the hill, the footprints abruptly stop.
They gaze down the steep hillside at the rocks below, and they see the motionless body of an old woman. It is obvious that she is no longer alive. A basket lies at her feet, and cookies are spread around her body.
Ha! She set out to do harm to someone else, but she ended up losing her life.
Why would an old woman want to hurt Chris? I still don't understand it.
Perhaps we'll never know. Let's return to the workshop, see if Chris has recovered.
The three elves turned back and returned to the workshop.
Meanwhile, Sneezy and Silly return with the sled. With help of Boss and Happy, they manage to lift Chris onto it and drag him back to the workshop. They do everything they can to think of to retrieve him, but no avail. Chris is alive but unresponsive.
Chris needs medical attention. I will set off before daybreak tomorrow for Fort Pinter and beg a doctor to come here to heal Chris.
I will join you if the weather cooperates. We will return within 2 days.
Sneezy and Silly complete their mission and they return with the young female doctor a few days later. The young female doctor administers a shot into Chris's arm. The elves and the doctor wait anxiously.
Slowly, Chris begins to stir. A few minutes later, he slowly lifts his heavy eyelids. His vision gradually becomes into focus, and he sees 7 elves grinning from ear to ear, along with a beautiful young female doctor.
Who are you? What happened to me?
I'm Dr. Merry Christmas. You were poisoned by an old woman with a cookie, if I understand correctly. You were very lucky that your 7 faithful friends found you and carried you until I arrived. I injected the shot which counteracted the poison in your bloodstream and allowed you to wake up. I think I should stay here for a few days and keep an eye on you.
That's a good idea, Doctor. We are so from a hospital that I want to make sure Chris is completely recovered before you leave.
Within those few days, Mary and Chris fall in love. A short time later, they decide to return to Arctic land to marry. King Kringle is overjoyed to see his son again and to meet Mary, his son's new bride. He thanks the elves for saving his son's life.
King Kringle builds a new castle for his son and bride at the North Pole. He also builds an amazing new workshop for the elves, complete with the latest tools and gadgets.
In time, Chris discovers his gift of magic. He immediately decides to put his magic gift to good use. Once a year, he delivers the elves' toys to children throughout the world.
It is not known exactly how his name changed to Santa Claus, although some say that Chris wanted to remain anonymous or unknown, so he changed his name himself. What is known, however, is that he, Mary, and the elves are still alive today, continuing their mission.
And living happily ever after.
The end.
Merry Christmas!
Ho ho ho!
Here we go. This poem is called Where is Santa?
Where
is Santa? Where is Santa? Here I am, here I am. Merry, Merry Christmas. Merry, Merry Christmas. Ho, ho, ho. Ho, ho, ho. Where is Santa? Where is Santa? Here I am, here I am. Merry, Merry Christmas. Merry, Merry Christmas. Ho, ho, ho. Ho, ho, ho.
This poem is called Little Elf.
Little elf, what do you see? Shimmering sparkle lights for the Christmas tree. Little elf, what do you hear? Down windy,
What are they?
and down windy.
Little
Little elf, what do you feel? Santa's soft beard, it feels so real. Little elf, what do you smell? Something's cooking up there, but I won't tell.
Little
Elf, what do you eat? Still got a drop. Little candy cane, so crunchy and sweet.
It was Christmas Eve and in the North Pole. Everyone was excited for Christmas. The elves were working hard to complete the toys. The reindeer were doing exercises to warm up for their flight. Santa was having a nap before his busy night. And Mrs. Claus was making a big dinner to feed everyone in celebration of Christmas.
Come on, Dancer, Prancer, and Vixen. Stop exercising and come and get something to eat before it's time to leave. You two, Comet, Cupid, Donner, and Blitzen, it's almost time to go. I better go wake up Santa or there will be no Christmas. 5 minutes later, Santa came out of the house dressed in his beautiful and red and white suit.
Good evening, everyone. Is my sleigh ready to go?
Yes, it is, Santa, all loaded with presents and ready to go, Santa.
And are my reindeer ready to go too?
Yes, we are, Santa.
Great. Let's get going then. First stop is the North Village. Bye, Mrs. Claus.
Bye, everyone. Have a good evening and be safe.
Off they went, and what a sight it was too. Soon they landed in the northern village. Soon Santa took his bag and went down the first chimney. When he came out of the chimney and into the first house, he found it was completely dark. Oh no, I can't see anything, not even the tree. I will have to walk in the dark to find it. Ouch!
With no light in the house, Santa walked over to it, into a table, and hurt his leg. He left the presents there and went back up to the reindeer.
Are you okay, Santa? What happened? I've hurt my leg because I couldn't see anything. All the lights were off.
Oh no, Santa, that's not good. Should we go back home?
No, we must get these presents delivered. So off they went to the next house, but here Santa found the same thing. All the lights were off. Ouch! My hand!
This time Santa tripped over a box on the floor and hit his hand.
Do you want to go home, Santa?
No, we can't because it's Christmas Eve and we must deliver the presents to all the boys and girls.
So off they flew to the next village, even though Santa had a bad leg and had bumped his head.
Oh no, Santa. I can't see anything at all in Reindeer Village too. I can't see any lights at all.
But Santa continued on because he had a job to do.
Ouch! My head! Ouch! My toe!
Then he arrived at a farmhouse. The farmhouse didn't have a chimney, so Santa had to walk through the garden and in through the door. As he went inside, he tripped again, but as he landed, a red light came on and he could see.
Where is that light coming from?
He looked around and could see a small circle of red coming from the corn. He walked over to it.
Why, hello there, little fellow. Don't be scared. Come out and see me.
The animal that was hiding came out.
You're a reindeer with a light inside your nose. That's amazing!
It's not amazing. No one likes me in this village. They think I'm strange because of my nose. They call me names and I do not have any friends.
That's so sad.
Yes, my life is very sad. My only friends are my parents.
What's your name?
My name is Rudolph.
Well, Rudolph, I think your nose is amazing. And come to think of it, you can help me out.
What? How?
You see, my name is Santa Claus, and my job is to deliver Christmas presents around the world with my reindeer, but the little boys and girls keep forgetting to leave the lights on. And so I keep getting hurt because I trip over and walk into furniture. But if I had you with me, you could shine your nose and I would be safe because I would be able to see. Everything. Do you want to come with me?
What about my mom and dad?
You can come back after Christmas and stay with them, but spend Christmas with me and my family. I have 8 other reindeer that you can be friends with too.
Rudolph said yes, and after leaving a goodbye note for his parents, he went with Santa to meet that other reindeer.
Dasher, Dancer, Prancer, Vixen, Comet, Cupid, Comet, Donner, and Blitzen. This is your new friend Rudolph.
But we don't need another reindeer. There's already 8 of us.
But I do need him very much. Look what he can do. Show them, Rudolph.
Rudolph stepped forward nervously. Everyone was watching him. Then his nose lit up the sky.
Whoa, look at his nose. It's quite red.
That's amazing. And now Santa won't fall over and hurt himself.
Yay!
Right. Come on, reindeer. We have to get moving. These presents aren't going to deliver themselves.
So off they went around the world to bring Christmas to every little boy and girl. Yes, and thanks to a little reindeer called Rudolph and his special nose, Santa was safe. The end.
A day or two ago, I thought I'd take a ride and see Miss Fanny Bride was seated by her side. The horse was lean and lank, misfortune seemed his lot. It got into a drifted path and we got outside. Jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh. Jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh. Now the ground is white, so go it while you're young. Take the girls tonight and sing a sleighing song. Just get a bobtail nag, 240 for your speed, then hitch you to an open sleigh and crack your tail for lead. Oh, jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh. Jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh.
Even though we're walking through the valley of death, scared and wondering what happens next, uncertainty, division, anger, and unrest, I still believe. Questions of what and why and when. What is it, why it happened, and when will it end? These are strange and crazy times that we're living in, but I still believe. I believe to my very core we'll walk again in the sunshine by the seashore, that we'll dance and we'll sing and be happy again. Don't know how or when, but we will again. You'll see, I still believe. I believe there's a day, and it's coming soon, when we'll unmask this face face of doom walk hand in hand in perfect harmony. And I believe there are good deeds to be sowed, nurtured with love to make them grow. I believe that faith can heal our bodies, minds, and souls. Yes, that's what I believe. I believe to my very core we'll walk again in the sunshine by the seashore. That we'll dance and we'll sing and be happy again. Don't know how or when, but we will again. You'll see. I believe.
I still believe.
We've become hysterical, completely come undone. Oh, but I believe in miracles, and that we'll soon see one. And the world will be a better place when all is said and done. You gotta believe. I believe in a higher power, and in the midst of our darkest hour, there's a light so bright it can melt away hate and greed. That's what I believe.
I still believe.
I believe.
To my very core, we'll walk again in the sunshine by the seashore.
I still believe.
We'll dance and we'll sing.
We'll sing and be happy again. You know our hearts, you know our needs, you see our fear, you hear our pleas. We come to you on bended knees. Through it all, I still believe. Yea, though I'm walking through the valley of death,